Box pops up, click got it, it gets out of your way, and then we're ready to rock and roll. Okay, so once you have this basic setup, 2 chairs, and then a third to sit in, we start sitting. So sitting practice is wonderful for many reasons. One, it's a great meditation opportunity. I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody as well here. So just in terms of, and again, this, to me, this is a key practice for people with any nervous system issues, right? Where the nervous system is essentially vulnerable to agitation, to heightened sort of agitation, you could say. So the practice of down regulation of the nervous system, mastery over this state of calm. Everyone needs it, but I think people who are dealing with, let's say, some attack on the nervous system, whatever that may be, Parkinson's one of a few that are at that level. This ability to master from the top down, you might say. And so it's hard to tell the mind to calm down from the mind, right? Eventually you can kind of do that. You can just send like a cascade message through your body, calm down, relax, right? But that's easier said than done initially. So that's where the breathing practice becomes highly valuable, because what we can do with our mind is engage with the breath. The breath is a thing. The breath is an occurrence. It's something that's happening, something that we overlook usually. So we can be stressing out about something in our mind, and we're not even paying attention to the breath. And usually the breath is haphazard, imbalanced, somewhat chaotic. Maybe we're holding our breath. We're taking, small inhales and fast exhale, whatever it may be, right? The breath can just be chaotic, let's say. But when we change that relationship, we harmonize our mind. We say, okay, yes, I have all these things I could be bothered by or distracted by, but instead I'm going to just come right to my breath. And so that little magical connection is the essence of every single mystical practice from all the ancient cultures that had a lot of time on their hands, and they had dedicated individuals, monks and mystics and yogis and Taoists, and these people that spent their whole lives investigating sort of the interior landscape. And all of them agree that there's something magical with this practice. So let's just do it for a little bit. And it's simple, it's easy. That doesn't mean it's not incredibly profound and powerful, right? And so a lot of times that's why we overlook things. It's because they're kind of obvious, like, oh yeah, my breath, and we hear about it. Oh yeah, breath practice, yeah. But doing it and feeling how that really trains this mastery of our deep, subtle layer. Just from the nervous system is as deep as we even need to think about it. We don't need to think about chi and energy and life force and chakras and dantians and these sort of other concepts, Chinese medicine or yogic ideas. If all we do is say mind to the breathing, breath in, long and smooth, a light hold of the breath, breath long and smooth out, light hold of the breath empty. On your own rhythm, you breathe in. So you don't have to breathe in at the pace that I'm breathing. You're just watching your inhale, finishing it, watching it turn into the exhale, finishing it, watching it turn into an inhale, finishing that next inhale, watching it turn over. So in your own practice, you might spend 10 straight minutes just breathing, releasing tension. It's sort of like clearing out debris. Right? There's a washing out that happens here. You could do this lying on your back. You could do it many different positions, contexts. But as you continue this breathing, just start to softly pay attention to your posture. So notice your pelvis, your hips, they're sitting on your chair. If you haven't already, scoot forward to the edge of your chair so that all that's really contacting the chair
Mm-hmm.
Can you guys hear me?
Now we can.
Okay, yeah, I lost you on my main computer. I'm just going to do my phone. Hopefully this will work. Can you see me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So let's get back to it. Technical difficulties, right?
Yep.
That's part of it. Okay. So where we were at, I think, was Zhongjung. So central upright, Zhongjung. So we've got hips, we've got central upright, we're breathing, the mind is relaxed. And now we get to practice the concept Chun One, which is softening down to the sunken, stable feeling. Now, when we usually soften and sink down, people think, oh, okay, I got to slouch. So then you've broken the first rule, which was Zhongjung. So if you can combine those two ideas of, oh yeah, central upright, but I don't want to hold my central upright kind of white knuckle because that makes me top heavy. So when we stand up, that's why we feel sort of easy to tip over. So upright, and then tell the tissue, the muscle, the nerves to relax. So what the Tai Chi say happens then is that the weight washes through the body and now connects us kind of like we're plugging into a socket, plugging into the earth. But not because we're pushing, but because we're releasing. So there's a sort of passive quality required to get these qualities we're looking for in Tai Chi. So here we are, we've got Zhongjung, we've got Chun One, soften, sunken, and stable. And then they say what's left is Qing Ling, which is light and nimble hydraulic movement. So that's what we're now going to cultivate here with our movements. So keeping this loose quality, slide your hands and elbows back, chest back, chest up, look up and arch the back gently. And then do the opposite. Slide your hands forward, drop the head round the back. And then slide the hands back, elbows back, shoulder blades back, look up. And slide forward, rounding. So we have 24 vertebra in our spine. So now we're asking them all to lightly flex and extend. So we're getting this soft, loose, nimble body. And then we are moving it using, ideally, only this hydraulic, loose Tai Chi quality rather than a bunch of tension. So right now we're practicing high-level Tai Chi with regards to the quality of how we're moving. So that's this sort of key idea. One more time. And then let's settle back to the middle. So that's the first joint mobilization movement. Second movement. Left hand will slide forward past the knee. Right hand will slide back, right elbow back, and we turn. Shoulders, head, we get a little twist or a rotation. We go the other way, turning back across and rotate. Look over the shoulder. And then turn and come back across. And we're loosening the body. Again, remembering to be doing those first two rules the whole time. Zhong Zheng and Chun One, or soft and sunken stable, while you keep this central upright. And now we're allowing the Qingling, or the feeling of free and loose movement, to be what we're cultivating or practicing as well. Let's do a couple more each side. Just a couple more of those. I'm going to try to see if I can get this on my computer again.
Recording in progress.
Okay. All right, so I'm back on my computer now. Good. So I can see you all now better. We're good? We're good. Okay. So now, third movement, arms hang. So we did movement in the forward and back direction, arching, rounding. Then we did movement in the rotational plane, turning and turning. And then the third main plane of movement is sideways or lateral. So hang your arms, and this one's really important for finding what the Tai Chi consider the most important thing is the middle pivot, like a middle of a seesaw, right? So the seesaw is free to move, but the middle is the key to that freedom of movement, keeping it organized, right? So we have a middle. So as you now lean to your right, go into your right buttock. Your left buttock gets a little lighter, and then let your spine just gently, softly tilt. Let this hand float up, let this foot float up. So you're kind of falling out of your chair to the right, but don't, obviously, and feel how the middle keeps you sort of intact. And then change, shift, lean, and notice with the hand that I'm lifting, I'm not bringing it way up like this. It's this sort of specific path right in close to your body, right? So now we lean, we're on this side, but the middle is the same. And then let's change again. Change. So as you challenge yourself to go to the edges of your range to the left and right in the side plane or lateral plane, keep a soft awareness of the idea that really what we're doing is finding our middle. So we're trying to see how far over here can I go without losing my middle, and then how far over here can I go without losing my middle. And that's the same intention behind all the beautiful martial art movement of Tai Chi and Bagua and Xing Yi and other movement sets and forms, is really you're just opening pathways, but yet cultivating your middle. One more each side. And the more you do it, the more you find a faith in your middle and a freedom in the body, right? rather than how most of us are kind of holding this body with some fear and caution, especially if you're, I work with a lot of people in their 80s, 90s. There's just a lot of that. And it's like self-preservation, but it gets in the way of cultivating what we're looking for here. All righty. One final thing before we go to our legs here. Loose shoulders, shoulder blades, right? The shoulder doesn't start here, it starts here. So shrug up, melt down. Do that a couple of times. Shrug up, let your arms hang, and then melt them down. Shrug up, melt down. So we want to unpack the baggage that we hold in the chest, back, neck, this whole area that makes us top heavy. So we shrug, we kind of squish that musculature, kind of like we're squeezing a sponge, and then we just melt and let it loosen. Now to clean it out even better, we want to do these circles. So the shoulder blades also separate from each other. Not sure if you can see that, but if these are your shoulder blades, they go apart from each other and around to the front a little bit. So now we come around to the front, lift up while staying in the front, then stay up as you go back and squish the muscles back, and then slide them down the back and return to neutral, which is nothing, just relaxed and easy. And then do it again. So here we're scraping out the barnacles, cleaning out the junk that bottles up and stagnates and clings and adheres to our chest, shoulder, upper back, neck, right? This whole above diaphragm chassis that gets stuck, right? So last one in that direction, and then just reverse. Go back and up, forward and down. Back and up, forward and down. This one's usually a little weirder movement. So there's this back, chest is open, we lift. And then when we come forward with the shoulders, the chest has to hollow back. And then we let the shoulders melt. And then it's back and up, forward and down. All right. Loose arms, right? Now we swing, 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 swing. Loose. What you want to feel with this one is that your arm, again, doesn't start here. It actually is this space inside the chest, shoulder, shoulder blade. It's like a space in there that needs to be loose. Needs to be loose. Now alternating one, the other. So this is really important for your striding when you're taking long walks, is that you feel the freedom to really let these go without losing this central pivot, right? So that if you could see when I'm doing mine, there's a part in here that isn't moving, but everything on the outside is moving freely. There's rotation, there's little turning points, right? And yet there's this spot that's just quietly still in the middle, right? And so that's how you can have free movement and yet balance, okay? Now, scoot back a little bit. We'll just warm the legs up before we stand. Bring the right knee to chest. Bring the right heel in. So just as much as you can draw it in and up, and then push away like you're pushing something across the room. Reload the leg and then set it down. Change. Other leg, load, push, reload, set it down. Load, push away, reload, set it down. Load and push, reload, down. Load and push, reload, down. Last one. Okay, foot and ankle. So we straighten the leg, point the foot, flex the foot. Point the foot, flex the foot. Point, flex. Point, flex. Then, in a slight flex position, foot tilts in, out, out. That's called inversion, eversion. Inversion, eversion. Now we do circles. Go in, point, around, flex. Circle. So we want a free loose tissue and joint relationship rather than clung together and stuck together. Go the other way with the foot. Circle. And switch feet. Point and flex. Invert, evert, little tilt. And we circle. So these are wonderful things to do while you're sitting watching television or listening to music, right? Just be doing little joint mobilization, connecting the brain, switch directions if you haven't yet. I don't know if I said that. Switch directions with the foot and then down. So just these little things, constantly sort of connecting and freeing up the body. Scoot to the front edge of your chair one more time. Last thing we'll do before we stand up. Step your feet a little wider apart than hip distance. Lift the toes up, turning on the heels. Turn your knees in and toes in. Internal rotation. Feel that squeeze at the groin area. And then lift the toes and open. Feel that opening. They call this the qua in Tai Chi. The groin hip space right in this area that we want to have open and free to move. So now turn in and turn out. This is very good for the lymphatic system as well. There's lymph nodes like there are in our armpits. There are also in our leg pits, right? Our groin area. So by squeezing and then opening and then squeezing, and you can feel it when you do it. You're like, that feels good to close this space kind of tightly and then open that space. And let's come back to neutral. Bring the legs back to hip distance. Now, to prep for us to stand up, legs don't move, hips fold, fold forward. Sit back upright, lean just slightly back from the hips. So what we want to feel is this hip and leg bone connection. Sit upright, fold forward. Sit upright, slight tip back, just a little bit. Again, forward. So the pelvis moving freely to fold and unfold. Okay, standing up. So we bring the feet back a little bit. Arms are loose like we looked at. Fold and pour your body weight to your legs down to the earth. Your butt no longer on the chair. And then just push through the earth and come all the way nice and tall. Now, stick your butt back. Let's just do this move a couple of times. So your butt goes back. You hinge at the hips. Let your arms hang. Notice I haven't bent my knees. Come back to standing vertical. So this move is really important. This pushing the butt back, this disappearing of your hips, and then upright. Again, this is how we sit down. You start sitting the butt back and then sit. Nice and smooth, down to your chair. Then you tip back to vertical. Then you fold, pour the body weight through the legs, push through the earth and rise up nice and tall and strong. And then we disappear the hips back, sit the tush. Find the chair. Back. And you can do this with no tension. Let's do two more. So that's the Tai Chi, is we're practicing loose, hydraulic, relaxed body, down-regulated, relaxed nervous system in movement, in action. Tai Chi squat, which is basically just this, just don't sit in your chair. Use this to stick your butt back, sink down and try to touch your toes. Sit your butt, get close to the floor, and then come back up. But you really want to focus on not just folding this way to get down there. Butt back and sit the butt to get low to the ground. And notice how I'm touching the floor here. So I'm kind of in an animal position. I'm starting to get kind of down to all fours, but then I don't. But that's something we've been working on a little bit as well, is how we use this to maybe get to the floor. Butt back, sinking, hands close to the ground, and back up. All righty, so now stay standing. Come to your chair and face your chair. Now, fingertips are on the chair. You're facing now to your right, I believe, or whatever, right? But what we're doing now is tip into your toes, stay in your toes, and lift your heels up. So now you're on your tippy toes. Come back down, and then rock back to your heels and lift the toes off the ground. So the only thing contacting the ground is your heels. And then toes back down, rock into your toes, lift. Down, rock back. Lift your toes. And forward and lift. Back and lift. Eventually you practice doing this with the lightest touch, or someday no hands. But be very careful with this, please. Right? So safety, obviously, number one. But eventually challenge your edge, right? Okay. Now, so we're just kind of prepping everything to be able to execute what we're working on. So now turn back to face forward, step back a little bit so your chair is in front of you and you're a little bit back. You could touch the chair and use it, but maybe you don't. You just stand there and let your arms hang. Now we change our body weight into the left leg only for a moment. Lift the right heel and try to get to the tip of your right shoe. So it's 100% and 0, right? We put this right foot down without any body weight. Change the weight to your right leg now. Left foot is empty, so you can lift to the tippy toes, lower the foot back down, and then change again. Change. Lift to your tippy toes. Back down. Change. Lift to the tippy toe. Put the foot down with no body weight. Change the weight. Primary direction of changing weight is chunwan, down, soft and sunk and stable. Then this is chingling, light. So now let's add the challenge. Keep your hand, place your hand on the chair, lift that foot off the ground a little bit, and then land the foot back on the ground with no body weight. Then down through that leg, the other foot free, lift to the tip of the toe, and then lift. Down with the foot, change the body weight. Down to the earth in one leg so the other foot is free. That one goes down, lands, and we feel that this middle pivot that I was talking about, that's where we make this change to this leg. Then this foot's free. Set this foot down empty, meaning we don't go kerplunk, right? We set it down empty, internal mechanism, change leg to leg, lift, lower, shift. So this point about primary direction is down. So your whole focus is Zhongjang and Chunwan, down to the earth. And then this is Qingling. This is like a product of that. The freedom of movement that we're really looking for has to come from Zhongjang and Chunwan, rather than muscle lifting, yanking my foot up off the ground. That's never going to work long term, right? But this can work forever, forever and ever, okay? Now, empty your right foot and place it in front of you, the heel touching. So here we are, like this. Notice I'm not way out here with my foot, just the smallest stride. Now, same thing, primary direction is down. As we shift and move our body forward in space, the primary direction was softening down. Same thing, shifting into the back foot, shift, the primary direction is down to the earth, which frees this leg. Then primary direction down as you shift into your front leg. So it's kind of obvious eventually, but initially it's kind of an epiphany to say, oh, When I'm moving forward, I'm not thinking about going forward, I'm thinking about down. That's how you practice Tai Chi and move about your space using the most superior and long-lasting way of using our body. And with Parkinson's, this can really, I've worked with a lot of people, and this changes the ability to move about space every time. It's like a trick. It's like a cheat code. So now we add the challenge. Right foot is empty. So now we're going to lift from the hip. Lift this straight leg up in front. Notice I'm not bending the knee currently. It's just a little lift of the leg, and I've still got Zhong Zheng, and I'm working on Chun Wan down through this. So this is just Ching Ling, free. Then set that heel down, shift. Now you're down through that right leg. Back leg, just bend the knee and pull the foot up, kind of like a flamingo does, I think. Put the toe down, shift, primary direction is down. And as it gets down, this is free. And then shift. So this is level 2 of this first exercise. Bend the knee, change back, lift from the hip, change. So this tests you to say, really, are you truly getting down through that leg? Because if you're half and half and you go to pull the leg up, you throw off your Zhong Zheng to yank the leg up. It's only when you actually get this 100 that this is free. So it's this test. It's like a little obstacle course. Do that a couple more times, please. I'll let someone in. Okay. Now stay in your back foot for a moment. Now level 3 here. So not only do we lift from the hip, but we let the knee bend and bring the knee all the way up. It's our golden rooster, our lifted leg here, loose and free. Because we're Zhong Zheng and Chun Wan over here. Now set that foot down, no body weight. Now primary direction is down through the right leg. Now your back leg forward and up. Like you're going to step up on a big curb or a big stair. And then reverse, reach that foot back, find the floor, but don't put any weight in it. So your weight is remaining in your front leg. Then change back. Primary direction is down. That allows the up. Softly down with the foot without falling into it. And then change the weight. Primary direction down, which allows up. Reach that foot back. Primary direction down, which allows the up. And your teacup is just sitting on top of your head, undisturbed. Shift. You don't prematurely yank the leg. You wait until you truly plug into the earth, and then it's up and back. Do that twice more on your own. And now that you're back, we switch to the other side. So you got your other chair over there. So bring your right foot back next to your left foot, change into your right foot and sidestep. And now we're over here. Put the weight into your right leg and put the left foot out in front, heel touching softly. Level 1, primary direction down. Get to the tip of the shoe, but don't leave the ground. Primary direction down as you shift into your back leg. Get to this tip of the heel. You see when it's empty, I can just kind of lightly move it. So it's like a test. And then shift. Primary direction down. Same thing here. Loose with that back foot, which tells you, are you actually 100 and 0? Most of the time the answer is no, you're not, because we don't practice it. But over time, you really get comfortable with that differentiation. One more, level 1. So these are things you can secretly do at the supermarket without looking too weird. You know, you can just kind of shift and be in one foot, challenging, shift back. So there's like little sneaky ways to work your Tai Chi in. Now, level 2, front leg is empty. Remember, use your chair for safety as needed. From this hip, a straight leg lift. So we're really finding that hip crease, and then set that heel down and shift. Now flamingo, bend the knee, just hover there for a moment, put the toe down, no body weight, then shift. Primary direction down is what allows for the up. Foot comes down, primary direction down. If you lose the primary downness, then when you do this, you feel like you came up and there's all kinds of chaos. So just really practice this idea. That's why I'm emphasizing it. Down. And the up comes from the down. It's like this inversion of how we think, but then eventually it just makes sense. It just makes sense. And it's easy. It's easy over time. This. So then we stop holding, we just release back to the earth. The nervous system thanks us for that. It's just like, oh, it's like a vacation to just be at ease, loose. Now we're going level 3. So that's after you get back here. Be careful with this one, but right, if you achieve empty full, then there's no reason you can't do this. It's not strength. It's just sort of like physics in a way. And then shift. It's like technique rather than effort. That idea. So as you get back in that back leg, this is empty, then it's just up, down, change. Usually we're gripping in our hips, so we have to find that looseness to then see the freedom of that movement without it disturbing our central pivot. Loose. And at first, when you're releasing your grip on your body, you do feel less stable. It's kind of a shaky quality because you're not relying on the same tension, but over time, you start to find your hydraulic system and it becomes this support system. All right, let's change sides back to the first side. There, you're near your chair. Put the weight in the left leg, right foot out in front, heel touching. Now, we change the weight into that right leg. Left foot is empty. We're going to repeat this little part here. So I'm going to turn sideways so you can see. From the toe to the heel, back to the toe to the heel. I'm not changing my body weight at all. So the left foot is remaining ching-ling, light and nimble as you go back and forth. Now put that left foot in front, leave it there, change the weight down through that leg. So now you're on your right tippy toes. Now we flow the exercise. So into your right leg, once your left foot is empty, just float it back, touch the toe behind you. So left foot goes back, left foot goes back. So shift into your right leg. So Deborah, I think you lost the flow of it. Okay, so be in your right leg for a moment. Step your left foot forward. Shift into your left leg. Get on your right tippy toes. Right? Now we're going to take a step backwards. So we shift into the right leg and step the left foot back and shift into the left foot. So now you've made multiple changes leg to leg. So now we've added the complexity of taking a full step. So let's do that again. Your right foot should be in front. Change into the right leg. Left foot is empty. Step it. Change into your left leg. Now we go backwards. Change into your right leg. Empty left foot. Steps with ease. Then change into your left leg. Change into the right leg. Step. Change into your left leg. Take a step with your left foot, Deborah. Yeah. And shift into your left leg. Shift into your left leg. That's right. So get your chair arranged so that it's giving you support because you want your chair, everybody, in front of you, right? Because you're moving in this forward direction. So you want that chair there. And then when you go back, you still want that chair there. So it's like a runway. And again, change, step, change. change, step, change. Okay, so now let's all make sure we're on the same boat. Put your right foot in front. Now, lift and lower that right leg like we did earlier. Change your weight to your right leg. Now your left foot, imagine there's something on the ground you have to step over. So you got to pick that foot up, step it over, and place the heel on the ground. Shift into your left leg and pick your right foot up like the flamingo, like we did earlier. Put the toe down behind you. Shift back into that right leg. Left foot has to come up, bend, and push behind. So you take a step back and then shift into that left leg. Right leg, lift, lower. Keep it in front. Right leg is in front. Shift into the right leg. Now step over the obstacle with your left foot, up and over. Shift into your left leg, flamingo the right leg. Bend the knee. Put the toe down behind you. Shift. Left leg comes up in front, bend the knee, and push back through the foot. Then shift back as your weight goes down through the left, right leg lift, lower. This is all tests. It's like a gauntlet. Change the weight to the right leg. This is a test. Can you slowly step up and over? And then shift. Can you do your little flamingo? It's a proving ground for getting these techniques. Up, bend, reach back. And finally, level 3, knee up, heel softly down. That was with the right leg. Then shift into your right leg and now bring left heel to butt, left knee all the way up, and use your chair for safety as needed. Extend the foot and lower the leg down, heel in front, left heel in front, and then shift into your left leg. Bring your right knee up. Now we go backwards. Reach back, touch the foot to the floor, touch your toes to the floor, shift back, bring that left knee up, tuck the foot, reach it behind you, find the floor without falling into the leg, and then shift back. All right? Again, knee up, right knee that is, down. Now we're going forward. Shift, take an exaggerated step with the left leg, really testing your Zhongjang Chunwan. Shift into your left leg and bring right knee forward and up. Now we go backwards. Reach back, find the floor, shift, bring the knee up, tuck, reach back, shift. One more time, up, down, shift. So there's a stillness eventually that you're cultivating with all this movement. You're realizing, oh, I can move freely and yet feel sort of like you're just floating on a meditation cushion. Just nice and easy. All right, let's switch sides. Bring right foot next to left, side step over to your left side chair. So weight goes through your right leg. Put your left foot in front. Remember, we're taking small steps. The bigger the step, the more you get all kinds of unnecessary tension because the body's trying to self-preserve. So now we just shift into the left foot. Right foot is empty. Let's just repeat this thing here, forward and back. So just notice the step both forward and back occurs without any change of body weight. That's not how most people walk. If you observe your own walking or other people's walking, people stomp, 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 right? But we want this feeling of freedom. Now put the foot out in front and then change the weight. Now let's flow. So we shift into the left leg, so back, step the right foot back, touching the toe, and shift back into the right foot. Get to the left heel. So we're going down through the left leg, stepping an empty foot, and then down through that right leg. Make sure you get to the tippy toe of your left foot there, yeah. And then shift back, step back, shift back. Shift forward, step forward, shift forward. And again, by forward, I of course mean down. Shift back, which I mean down, step back, shift back. So it's always down, 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 but yeah, we are moving forward now. We're taking a nice, casual, easy, chill step forward and back. And as you practice this more in this class or use the videos, over time, you'll find that like, oh, I could just easy peasy, step forward, step back. Now let's go level 2. You may need hand on chair for this. Lift, lower, shift. Now once this right leg is free, pick it up over the obstacle. So that's a test. Can you sustain this balance? Shift and do the little flamingo. Pick the foot up, place it down, shift back. Now it should be your right leg. And shift. And then we lift, lower. That's your test, right? And if you almost fall, it's just your sign to say, oh yeah, it wasn't quite 100%. And now it's here. Same thing here. If you pick this foot up and you almost fall, that means you didn't quite get that 100 into your standing leg. Same thing here. As you get to your right leg, as you flamingo this left foot, right? You just find, can I do that? And then foot down, shift back, right leg up, tuck, reach. I'll turn sideways a couple times so you can see it. Left leg, lift, lower, shift, down. This is free to step, down. This is free to flamingo, down. So there's hydraulic springs, spring-loaded legs that we're training rather than stilts, which is what a lot of us have. We're training this buoyant, springy, Tai Chi leg deal, right? Now let's just do level 3. Use your hand on your chair as needed. We go knee up. That should be your left knee, because the chair's on your left. It's my right, your left. And then we shift and we do this exaggerated sort of graduate level challenge. Can you fully take that leg through its range without disturbing posture? Then shift and bring that left knee forward and up again. Toe reaches back. Shift, change the weight through the left leg. Right knee comes up, tucks, reaches. Change the weight through that right leg, left knee. Again, so it's level 3. Down, that's what frees you to go up. Down is what frees you to come up. Don't lose the down. Keep the mind on the down. The down. Always rooting down. Without losing zhong-zheng, central upright. And finding your way down through dissolving, releasing rather than pushing or forcing. That's the Tai Chi way. And done. Closing this little portion, hands come up and over. It's called shogun, or this closing gesture, hands settling, 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 settling. And we settle to our middle, belly button, hands at that general region with some space between. And you notice the shoulders soft, elbows soft, wrists soft. It's called middle embrace. It's a standing meditation. Helps us kind of get coherence with our middle. Okay. Now, release down. So let's practice. Don't change your chairs. But if you were set up like I had my chairs, like I wanted you guys to have, then you can walk over to one side. So you want to go over to the left side, and we're going to be able to just walk across this way, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps, and then walk back. And so what you want to do is practice that level 1 forward and back, right? So think down. So you got zhong-zheng, central upright. Then you're going, okay, down through your right leg, put out your left foot. change your body weight. Once you're in through that left foot, then step the right foot, keeping it empty, and then change. Wait until that foot is empty, step it while it's still empty, and then change. Step the empty foot and then change. Change. Be more careful going backwards. Change the weight into one leg. The empty foot, step it behind you just a little bit without any body weight. So the toe goes back, you locate your landing zone, and then you change the weight into that foot. Step an empty foot, change. Step an empty foot, change. Step the empty foot and change. So notice you went 5, 6, 7, 8 feet forward and backwards. Ideally, not even thinking forward or back, really, just thinking down, down, down. So do it again. Forward, backward, down, down, down. Shoulders are relaxed. There's a saying in Tai Chi, top empty, bottom full. So we're not holding on to our upper, we're letting that go and saying, okay, I'm gonna get to the earth. I'm not gonna run away from the earth. I'm gonna connect and even stay connected. So really you're never not rooted when you're doing this correctly. Okay, great job. Now, turn and face forward once again, but still be to the left side of your space. Now, weight goes through the left leg, right foot is empty. Now, most of you, when we take a side step, this is going to happen. Your body weight's going to kind of go with the leg, and then your body weight would come back. What we want to do is step the foot, but not change the weight. So the foot can go out and in, sideways, out and in. The middle stays right where it is, and this leg remains your full leg or yin leg, and then this is your movable, free to move. Now, the one other thing that people probably are doing is when you're stepping out, notice you're probably pointing your toe and keeping your heel off the ground. That's the beginning. But what you really want to do is step out and have the heel, right? Heel on the ground, yet the foot is still empty. That forces opening in this quad. And it forces you to find your way down through this leg better. Now, last time, step sideways and stay out there. Change your body weight. So now it's your right leg full, left empty, but keep the left heel on the ground. Don't pull up. Stay connected, even though it's empty. Change the weight back. Left leg. Change the weight. Don't let your heels come off the ground if you can help it. So you're buying real estate in this region, this important Tai Chi space, the belly, the low back, the quad, right? This whole area that's frozen, stuck, but we're liberating it, finding these movements. Now, into your right leg, stay in your right leg. Left leg is empty, bring it in, out. In, all the way in, touching, and then out. All the way in, all the way out. Heel on the ground every time. In, out. Now, in, keep it in, find your way down through the left leg. So now this foot could be free to step. And then find your way down through the right leg. This foot could be free to step. This is a very important one at finding this mechanism of down through, this is free, down through, this is free, right? Down through. Now we sidewalk, step sideways, change the weight. Once this is full, this is empty, bring that foot in. Change the weight. Once the right leg is empty, step it. Change the weight. Once the left leg is empty, step it. Change, step. Change and step. Change, step out. So we're moving to our right. Some of you are running out of room, I get it. Let's go back. Left foot out, change. Right foot comes in, change. So another mantra, step without shifting, whole foot down, shift without stepping. Step without shifting. So this foot remains empty, shift without stepping. Step without shift, shift without step, step without shift. And eventually they blend. So it's shift step, shift step, shift step, shift step, shift step. Let's go back and forth one more time. Step without shifting, shift without stepping, step without shifting, shift without step, step without shift. So that's where you can be doing Tai Chi and yet moving fast, swift. Is that boom, boom. They can start to happen in a syncopation or a rhythm with each other. Da, 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 da. Which is different than I stiffen up and I did it, right? Instead of, no, go slow enough to not disobey this law of staying grounded so that your teacup doesn't fall, so that you don't fall. Casual. And then over time, this same step added to it a shift and a turn. This is what we work on in the Friday class, is the upper body Tai Chi work. This is called hands play with clouds. This is called the bear washes its paws. This is just a couple lateral movements, right? That's just a taste of how you eventually turn what we're doing into Tai Chi, okay? And Shogun, closing gesture. Stand between your chairs facing forward. Got enough room here. Have your body weight in your right leg, right hand on the chair on your right side. Left leg, free, empty. Turn the foot out, lift, bring the leg over the top, closed, and bring it down right, neutral. Turn that leg open, lift it while it's still open, close it to the midline, then let it go straight down. So we're basically doing an outside-in circle, which is very nourishing, healing in the hip and leg. So we turn the leg externally, lift, close, bring it down in the closed position. In the straight position, open, up and over the top, spiraling in, open, up over the top, spiral in, open, up over the top, spiral in. And you can guess what comes next. We go the other way. So now keep the ball of your foot on the ground, turn the heel out and the knee in a little, bring the knee across, and then open. The leg is in the open position as you bring it down to the ground. Then turn on the ball of the foot. So you should still be doing the same leg as you were just doing. Turn on the ball of the foot, knee points in, bring it across, up over top, down. Turn on the ball of the foot so you're internally rotating that left leg, and then open. Don't force it. You don't want to hear pops and cracks, and you don't want to feel strain, but you just want to feel internal rotation, lifting, external rotation, down. Just make it a comfortable path. Internal, lifting, external, and down. Switch sides. You're over on the other side. Weight going through your left leg. Right leg should be free. Turn that right leg externally. Toes are pointed out. Lift the leg while it is still turned out, and then close. Bring the leg down in the neutral position. From here, it's empty so it can turn open. Lift, over the top, down. Open, lift, over the top, closed, down while still closed, open, lift up, over, down, turn open, up and over, down, open, over the top, down, and switch directions. Turning on the ball of the foot, internally rotate. Bring the knee across, open, down. Ball of foot, internally rotate, knee across, up and over, down. So Deborah, I think so now we're doing the other direction, Deborah, watch. Turn so the leg is internally rotated. The knee is pointing, yes. Bring it across, yes. Open, and then down. And maybe you were doing that, it didn't look like you were. Ball of foot, turn, bring it across, keep it up, open. Then keep it open as you go down. Don't close it right away, keep it open so that from the open you turn. Bring it across and up, open. Keep it open as it goes down. Let's do 2 more. Ball of foot, turn, circle. Ball of foot, turn, circle. All right, standing in the middle there, hands together, clap and rub. Then hands on the quad, the groin area, genital area, pubic area. Rub that space so that it doesn't feel congested. Then up to the hip flexors, which is the top of the thigh, right at that bundle there. Rub in and out along there. Travel around to the back. Tailbone up onto your lumbar spine. And then we sit the butt back and sit, sweep the hands down the outside of the legs, around the feet to the inside, standing up, come up the inside. And just do that again. Go around to your tailbone, rub your lower back. All right, so we went around and up. And then we're sliding down from there, the outside of the legs, around to the inside, up the inside, all the way past the groin area to the navel, which is our middle. Groin, hip flexors, tailbone, lumbar. So we just kind of clear that space and then sit the butt, sweep the hands down, around and up the inseam to the navel. And then our final gesture, resetting the flow of the body, up the outside of one arm to the shoulder, turn that arm palm up, come down the inside, off. Turn the palm down. Repeat on the same arm. Up, turn, down, turn, up, turn, down. Eventually there's such a nice flow here. This, that, this, that. Now we switch arms. So you do about 5 or so on each side. Over the top, down. So the body's broken into yang, outer side, side that sees the sun. Yin, the side that's hidden, shady side. Sunny side, shady side. Sunny, shady. And final closing, over the top, settle. And seal. 1, 2. Well done, everybody. Find your safe place to sit. Make sure you know where your chair is before you try to sit. If there are any questions, let me know.